Jamie, you're right. I want to lead with that because most people in my line of work are supposed to argue with you, and on this one, I won't. You told a room at the Hill and Valley Forum that young people can't learn from their basements. They learn, you said, by going on the sales call, by watching you make a mistake, by watching how you handle it. You called for an apprentice system. You said the conversation in the hallway after the meeting, the one that never happens on a video call, is where the real knowledge get passed down. And that is its absence shows up years later. I spent 36 years on factory floors on three continents. Every word of that is true. I watched it happen 10,000 times. A new hire stands at a station and cannot yet feel the difference between a weld that will hold and the one that will fail. 6 months beside the right veteran, and her hands know it before her eyes do. A sound, a smell, a half second hesitation that says stop. Nobody wrote that down. Nobody could. It passed from one body to another exactly the way you're describing. Proximity, repetition, the freedom to watch someone who knows. Formation is real. It is a slow handoff of judgment from the person who has it to the person who doesn't, and it happens through nearness, proximity, repetition, and the freedom to fail up close. You can't download it, you can't zoom it. It compounds inside a human being over years, and it's the most valuable thing a young worker will ever build. On that, there's no daylight between us. Here's where we part. You will move heaven and earth to make the formation happen for bankers. You'll mandate 5 days in the office. You'll carry real estate most countries couldn't afford. You overrode a petition signed by 1,200 of your own people because you believe, correctly, that proximity builds the next generation of capability. And that capability is worth more than anyone's commute. So, walk the same logic onto my floor. The line worker learns the way your analyst does, beside a veteran, by watching, by failing in front of someone who's seen it before. The nurse's aide learns it at the bedside. The framer learns it on the wall. Formation through proximity isn't your insight about offices, Jamie. It is the oldest truth on the factory floor, and we were living it before JP Morgan had a logo. The difference is what we let happen next. I know a man, and I'll use his name, Jason Blackie, who spent a decade on a line doing supervisor level work. He was formed exactly the way you want your bankers formed, next to people who knew more than he did, absorbing judgment no classroom teaches. When something went sideways at 2 in the morning, a line down, a tolerance drifting, a new kid frozen at a station, it was Jason people went to find, not the supervisor whose name sat on the org chart. He had the answer because he had the decade. He just never had the title. He couldn't be promoted because the system that decides who counts as capable doesn't read the floor. It reads the credential. Jason's formation was real. It just wasn't his to bank. This is the half you left out. And here's what this is what should stop you. You are not the only one who left it out this month. The same week your remarks went around again, Satya Nadella published an essay. A frontier without an ecosystem is not stable, arguing that in the AI economy, a company wins not by renting the best model, but by owning the learning loop where its people's judgment compounds. He even reached for the word I've built my life around: compound. He wrote that you can hand off a task or even a whole job, but you can never offload the learning itself. He's right. And then, in in the very same breath, he named that compounding learning the new IP of the firm. Read the two of you side by side, and something jumps off the page. In a single week, two of the most powerful men in the American economy independently described capability as the thing that compounds, the thing that outranks the machine, the thing worth reorganizing an entire company around. And you both stopped at the same word. You both said capability compounds. But neither of you would say whose. You locate it in the firm. Nadella files it under the firm's intellectual property. The worker who actually does the compounding, in whose hands, in whose nervous system, in whose hard won judgment the capability physically lives, appears in both of your accounts as an input, a resource the firm captures, a cost that throws off a return for somebody else. So let me offer you the word you're both missing: not human capital. That's the firm's name for a worker entered on the firm's own balance sheet. Capability capital. The capability a person builds through formation is capital, and it belongs to the person who carries it, exactly the way the capability your young banker builds belongs to her when she walks it out your door to a hedge fund 3 years from now. That's the whole reason you fight to keep her. You already know formation follows the human, not the firm. You've simply never extended that accounting to the people at the bottom, whose formation is every bit as real and is treated as if it evaporates the moment they clock out. You called for an apprentice system. Reach back and look at what that system actually was. The guild apprentice didn't only absorb the master's skill, he carried papers that said he had. His formation was portable, recognized, his own. The journeyman walked from town to town, and the capability walked with him because everyone agreed it was his. The guild I speak of is Zunft of Deutschland. The modern firm kept the apprenticeship and quietly deleted the papers. It takes the formation and refuses to certify that it happened. Jason Blackie did a decade of journeyman work and was never once allowed to become a journeyman. You had a phrase for what goes wrong on a video call. I loved it. Rope-a-dope. Game playing where real work should be. Let me hand it back gently. The longest running rope-a-dope in the American economy isn't a banker dozing through a Zoom. It's a system that absorbs a worker's formation for 30 years and tells him on his way out that the wage already paid for all of it. Milton Friedman wrote that rule book in 1970. The wage captures the worker. Pay him and you're square. The rest belongs to the shareholder. Jamie, your own argument for the office refutes it. If the wage really captured everything, you wouldn't need anyone in the building. You need them there precisely because something is being built in them that the wage doesn't pay for and the balance sheet can't see. You've proven capability is real capital. You've just been booking it on the wrong side of the ledger. And this is the moment it matters most. The whole economy is being told the only question is how fast to automate workers away. But if formation is real, if you and Nadella are right that proximity and judgment and apprenticeship are where durable value actually comes from, then the worker is not the cost to engineer out. The worker is the appreciating asset. You don't automate away the thing that compounds. You invest in it and you let the person who carries it own it. So, yes, you're absolutely right about the hallway. You're right that we lost something real when we scattered to our basements. And right that the young pay for it most. Keep saying it. Say it louder, but finish the sentence. The capability built in that hallway does not belong to the bank that owns the hallway. It belongs to the human being it was built into. At the top of the pyramid, where you already act like you know it, and at the base, where 4.5% of humanity has been told, humanity in just India and the US, has been told for 50 years that what they carry is not theirs to keep. You and Nadella have already conceded the hard part. Capability compounds. Now say the rest of it loud. Whose capability? Thank you.